going on, Reid Nation? How you guys doing? Welcome back to the channel. We have a special thing for you guys. We're going to be doing a breakdown of the Marvel's Avengers Endgame trailers. Literally all the trailers and all the TV spots. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to get really in depth to it. I don't believe I've really gotten to depth with any Marvel Avengers trailer or any Marvel movie trailer at all. So we're going to actually check that out. And actually, I think it was the Avengers Twitter, they posted all the posters of each one, the fallen and the survived ones of the Avengers Infinity War movie. And one thing that I really thought was interesting to me, it said that Shuri, I think it's Shuri, it said that she actually didn't survive the snap. Now, I think people are saying, oh, it's confirmed she's dead. I literally think that it could be one of those things where it's like a plot twist that she's still alive. In my personal opinion, for some reason, I still think she's alive. I don't know why, but I still think she does. I still think she is alive. And I do have another, I have a theory actually about Loki as well, which I'm going to get into when I watch the trailers. And we're going to be rewatching them. I pretty much reacted to all these trailers that popped off. I think I did a reaction to all the trailers that showed on here. Because I have about 4 trailers that are popped up on my screen. Now, if you haven't, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers. You guys are amazing. Now, any further ado, here we go. We're going to look for the first trailer. This will be uploaded tomorrow because I'm going to be doing a long edit tonight. Because it's 11 o'clock at night while I'm going to be doing this video. So, let's get into it. Make sure everything is it's set, and we're going to be looking to it. I'm going to be using my green screen that is going to be right here. So let me see. Let's find the first trailer that popped off. This one. Let me see which one it is. This is, yeah. So the first trailer we're going to be looking at is the Marvel's Avengers one that came out December of last year. Now, let's see it. All right, so I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause it. So really quick, this scene where Tony is on the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, because if you don't remember, he had the fight, I believe it was on Titan and Infinity War, which led to everybody besides him and Nebula disintegrating and dying. So it was kind of lost. He could have at least asked Thanos for a ride back to Earth, but it seems like it didn't happen that way. And they're stuck on this ship, and then he's going to mention that they're out of food. I think they're out of food and water and oxygen. It will run out in a couple of days, so and so. And from the screenshot or the pausing, he's actually making a message to Pepper. I've seen from a lot of theories about this that this scene is probably not going to be in the movie. But if the scene is going to be in the movie, then it's going to be in the beginning. I don't know if it's going to be before some other parts that we're going to be actually discussing. So, long story short, you know, he's stuck in space.
I ran out 4 days ago.
Let's see if we can go through. All right, so that's Thanos. If you read the comics, he retires, lives on a farm, puts his suit up on it as a scarecrow looking thing, which I think is cool. How they do a lot of stuff from the comics. They don't officially do things like the comics, but most parts they do. Another part, you see him walking through his farm. I don't know what he's growing. It's not marijuana or anything like that, so I'm not concerned. But you see that his gauntlet is actually stuck to him. It looks like it's stuck to him. It's burnt. It doesn't look like it's useful. If you remember, he did the snap at the end of Infinity War, and you actually see how his gauntlet looked before he before he left, because Thor was like, "What did you do? What did you do?" And he looked around and just left. Like if you go back and watch it, so I don't believe that I don't know if he can physically still use it. I honestly do not know, but if from theories that I'm hearing, he actually does. He does not use the gauntlet, but he end up destroying all the Infinity Stones in the gauntlet, so they cannot take it from him. We will discuss more.
Thanos did exactly what he said he was going to do. He wiped out.
So, this part right here, I think, is misleading. This is the part where you see Captain America. He's crying in tears. What I think happened is, before the beginning of the movie, they start off by going to a mission, and the mission, it could easily be to stop Thanos, which leads him to shaving his beard and try something, original from what he was. And I think the first fight, someone dies, which leads them to going back to the Avengers place, and he actually starts crying. I think that's probably the accurate thing ever. I don't think he would just start crying in the beginning of the movie. There has to be some sort of maybe they went back in time and somebody actually died and he actually saw it, and when they get back, like, he has tears because he has no facial hair. If you guys seen the Captain Marvel end credit scene, Captain America still had his beard. So what I think is he shaves it to go back in time, or he shaves it because they're going on a certain mission where he had to look like how he was before. So this is probably the aftermath. This is literally probably the scene where it's aftermath and they're back on Earth. He's crying because something went wrong. Literally something went wrong.
50% of all living creatures.
You could tell this part right here, she still has a blonde. This is probably the beginning where they're talking about it. And since I think this is the part where Ant-Man, I believe she's talking to Ant-Man. Either she's talking to Ant-Man or she's talking to Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel was like, where's Fury? So she could be talking to Captain Marvel right there. She's probably like, what happened? And then this is what she mentioned. Let's go back and repeat it.
50% of all living creatures.
She probably is talking to Captain Marvel. Either she's talking to Captain Marvel or she's talking to Ant-Man. But I think it's probably more of Captain Marvel, because it looks like it's still set up in that same vibe area as the end credit scene from Captain Marvel and the end of another trailer we will watch with Thor and Captain Marvel in it. So it does look like that's probably she's talking to Captain Marvel. Now from this you see Banner. He's looking at the missing people. And see Scott Lang's missing and see Shuri's missing. Now from the posters, it shows Shuri actually got wiped in the decimation, which I still don't believe is legit. I think it's one of those Russo brothers is trying to finesse you into thinking that certain person is dead when they're really not. But at the end of the day, if she is dead, then she is dead. The posters were right, so on and so forth. But Scott Lang was one of the missing persons. A.k.a. Ant-Man. He was stuck in the quantum realm from his movie Ant-Man and the Wasp. He was in there, and then for some reason, I don't know how he got out, but maybe he got out in maybe the first time he got out in a different time. Maybe like months or years after the decimation, or he could have got out 20 years before the decimation. Who honestly knows how he got out, or where, or how? But long story short, he's out and we're happy. That's all that matters. So this part is this iconic shot. We've seen about 3 of these shots. Maybe no 4. We've seen 4 of these shots. We've seen one up close like this, one a little back, and one a little back, and then one straight up close with all the Avengers. So I think this shot is a meaning for something. I really do. Maybe maybe there's a time loop where they just keep doing the same movement, and that's what it has something to do with it. Or every time they go ready for battle, they do this. They're in the same motion in this same clip. Who knows?
We lost. All of us.
So, pause it. Okay, so a lot of people were actually mentioning like were Nebula and Tony on the same ship. Now we know now, but at the time we didn't know, and you could tell that that's Nebula's hands on Tony's shoulders.
Friends. You lost family.
Oh, one quick theory. What if Tony, like, I was watching this video yesterday, and it was like, what if Tony's in a time loop, like, where every time he accidentally dies or he does something wrong, he just gets re-looped back? What if that actually happens at the beginning, like, he actually just sits there and dies without food and water, then it time loops back up, and he's the only one in the time loop, and he's like, I just can't die like this. We gotta find a way to fix it, and then that's when they start building. Like, the first time, he just whispers away, but then the second time, like, he's like, let's, like, really legit do this. That'd be interesting. That'd be really cool. A lot of people don't want to see the little time loop thing because there is a theory from some other sources and big YouTube channels that are doing a lot of that Marvel goodness content. I appreciate it. Keep it up. I watch it every day. Here's a theory that Doctor Strange put Tony Stark and Iron Man in a time loop where he has to go through the 4 million outcomes and he has to figure out which one's the right one. He's going to relive all the moments until he gets it right. I think that could be legit. Could be. But I don't know if they would go that route. Who knows? So this is the actual, this part right here is Hawkeye, aka Ronin. If you don't know who Ronin is, it's a dark character that he plays in the comics, I believe so. Which I don't know how long he's going to portray Ronin. I think it might be just for a little bit. It won't be for long because as you see from other trailers, he's back to Hawkeye. But the Ronin thing, only way he would really turn into Ronin is if his family got snapped from the decimation, which we all know it probably happened. That's what caused him to become Ronin. And for some reason, she might have tracked. I always called her by her Black Widow. She might have tracked down him through GPAs. I don't know how they would do it, but she tracked him down. As you can see, Black Widow's hair changes so much throughout every single trailer. She has different styles of hairs. That could easily be a one of those where it looks like her hair's changing, but they're always tricking you into thinking it's actually changing. Something like how they had Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet. Throughout a lot of the trailers, it looked like he only had like 2 stones. In the end trailer, he had 2 stones, but really he had all, I believe it was like all 5. He had all 5 already, so it's, a lot of stuff is misleading. Her hair can be like super misleading throughout a lot of trailers. But at the same time, it might not be. As this has got to be a little bit later, maybe 6 months later after the decimation, because she's able to put her hair in the ponytail or in braids, like back it. She really couldn't do that before because it was so short. So you can tell that it's getting to that certain, maybe it might be 6 months later, or a couple months later. You know, who knows?
We lost a part of ourselves. This is the fight.
Now, this part right here, you can see her hair's growing a little bit. Now, you see it got to shave the face. He shaved his face. I don't know if they're going, I don't know, they might be going to space. This is one weird thing that I've had to mention. It looks like they're going into, you know, this ship is the Guardians of the Galaxy ship. We should all probably know that by now from a lot of other people that do theories and stuff. If they are going into space or if they're time traveling in some sort of way, it's kind of weird to think how they literally could be going to fight Thanos in this clip. They literally could be going to fight Thanos. because there's another in another trailer. This is actually shown with the helmet, him strapping it on. We know he's gonna have the shield back. He has the suit that you put the shield on the back. How is he? He's got to defend himself. He's gonna have his shield. Tony's gonna give him back the shield. Long story short, there's got this clip is interesting.
Our lives.
This is gonna work, Steve.
When she said this is gonna work, Steve, I think what their original plan is going to be, they're gonna go to Titan. They're not Titan, but they're gonna go to where Thanos is. I believe they're gonna go to this farm, and they're gonna try to convince Thanos to undo the snap. That's why she said this is going to work, because they're gonna probably convince Thanos. They're gonna like literally say, "Hey Thanos, please reverse your snap," like begging you. That's why he says,
I know it is. Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
that's why I was like, either they're going to his farm to convince him to undo the snap, or they're going to attack and take the gauntlet for him. That's why he's saying, if this doesn't work, I don't know what we're gonna do. And from the beginning, when he was crying in tears, maybe that's the part where they're back and he's crying because Thanos just destroyed the Infinity Stone, so they're out of luck. And that's when Ant-Man, Scott Lang, comes in. He's like, "Hey, I got this idea," and they all go crazy happy. Now this right here, it said, I believe he actually time travels to the past, which leads this recording to be actually, because the screen recorded. And I believe the present, they actually see it and think that it's legit. Like, he's at the door when really he's not. This was from a past recording, which lead up to questioning, why is there a 1980, I believe it's a 1983 recording. So it's like, how is this in 1983? Like, and then they're going to figure out, or he's going to actually come in the present day and, he's just going to be there. It's interesting. It's interesting. So we're going to be looking at the second trailer. Give me just a minute. Let me see what the second trailer was. Yeah, Marvel's Studios Avengers Endgame official trailer. This was the one that was released, I believe it was last week or the week, 2 weeks ago. So we're going to go to this one. I won't go specifically crazy with this one because majority of it just shows the past, and then you have the background voices of Peggy saying you have to move on. If you didn't remember from Civil War, she was on her deathbed mentioning to Captain America that you eventually have to move on. You can't just live in the past because you've been asleep for 65 years. You have to live your life now, or you're never going to live it. And Tony mentions is that he wants to do at least one more surprise. And then from this shot right here, you can see that everything is literally, the decimation is serious. It wiped everybody. Look how dull, I believe it's in New York. Look how dull it looks. It's not bright. There's no one to cut on the lights. They're all snapped. Literally.
Goodbye.
And this part right here, if you never seen like Punisher, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, all those type of shows, they always have it where there are people that have been through a lot. They are in circles at these group places. They talk about their problems and they all come together and grieves and they try to work it out. I think this is what it is, where Steve could be in a circle with other people, maybe other Avengers, I don't know. And they're talking about moving on, and he's just like, I can't, type thing. Ooh, and this right here, this is something that I was going to mention after rewatching this, after my first reaction to this. this is a early. This you could tell this is really early in the movie, because if you see his hair, it's how his hair originally looked in all the Avengers movies he's been in. And his daughter is a lot older, so I'm believing this is right before this. Either this is right before or after the snap. And my theory is, at this moment, this is where his family gets wiped from existence. And I'm not laughing to be funny, but like literally, legit. But this could easily be one of those things where it's like, psych, we got you. You thought you thought they were gonna disappear right here, and then you see him right there. So, what my theory might be, another one, is that when he, he's like, "Yay, congrats!" Like maybe when he does that, he sees her hand disintegrating. He's like, "What's going on?" And he's running to his wife, and his wife's disintegrating. His kids disintegrating. That could be one of the possible things that gonna happen. Or right after they're done, they walk inside, and everybody's disintegrating. It could either be that, but more likely this is the part where she just starts disintegrating. Right when that happens, I believe she's gonna disintegrate, and they're just not showing it. They're showing it.
And sometimes the best that we can do.
And see, she's in tears because I believe they haven't seen each other since Civil War. So if you think about it, if you're going by the modern time of this day, it's been roughly almost 2 to 3 years since they've seen each other. So she's like, "What happened to you? You a cold-blooded killer now? Like, this is what we doing?" That's really probably what her theory is, as she's looking out, as looking at him.
It's to start over.
And she might have was like, "What happened?" And then they found a way to like reunite. I honestly think that's what's gonna happen. And then this is the part where Thor says, "I watched all of them people die," and that could be right after the snap, and they're back at the Avengers headquarters. That's what I meant to say in the beginning.
Die.
And as you guys know, everybody that's in black and white are the ones that died either from the snap or died before. Like, I wouldn't call Vision. I mean, yeah, whoever, all the people that died from the snap, So
Telling everybody they should move on.
as you see, the people that are, I believe it's the people that are in black and red that are still alive.
Some do.
Okay, so this is what has me running. Look at Black Widow. This, I can tell this is probably a year or two after the snap, maybe 3 or 4, could be 5 years after the snap. Look at her face. She's looking older. She's looking tired. You can see the puffs. I mean, I don't know. I don't believe she has that in real life, but you could tell that she looks like she's beat up. Her hair is growing back to red. You can still see a slit of the blonde, but it's not much. This has to be like that new growth, all that hair. That takes a long time. That could possibly be about 4 or 5 years, maybe even 3 years. That is a long time through, what her hair looks like.
But not us.
But then you see Cap, he's mentioning, some of us move on, but not us. And look how he's looking. He doesn't look the best. He looks tired as well. This is why I'm thinking this is 5 years later. Maybe I think this is, this part, could be when Scott Lang sees them, and they look like they have been trying, but it's not working. It's 5 years later, pretty much. Like, that's what I think.
Not us.
Now, somebody was actually mentioning that in the background, that was right there, that's the Tesseract, or the thing that was holding the Tesseract that Loki had. The little, the little thing that he was holding. Somebody's gonna gift that or make a meme of that. That's gonna be hilarious. So it looks like that's what Loki was holding the Tesseract in. It could be. I don't know if they would go that far, but everybody just looks completely just old. Not even in a rude way, but they all look like they've been through a lot. Like, it's crazy. Now, this one's interesting because you can see Scott Lang looking like, what is going on? I think this is right after he gets out the quantum realm. And from the Instagram, them posting the trailer, you actually see he's holding he's holding the case that is carrying the quantum realm. That little, if you watch Ameno Ross, they always shrunk the building down and rolled it around like it was a suitcase or something like that. That's the thing that he has that he's carrying around. That so. Long story short, I can tell he's just getting out. He's fresh out the quantum realm. You feel me? He's fresh out. So he's looking around like, what the is going on? So maybe that's realize, this right here, this could be like 5 years after the snap where he's like, what is going on? Because if you rewatch the first trailer, it looks like he what was it about that? He looks like I can't think what I was gonna say. He looks like he went through he traveled back in time a second time because I believe he had different clothes.
Small chance. We owe this to everyone.
So I guess she brought him back. They're reuniting and they're trying to. They could easily be going to they're stopping Thanos, trying to find Thanos, or they're on one of them side missions. Hawkeye's good with them side missions. You feel me? He did hella side missions throughout Avengers.
He's not in this room to try.
Like I said, I believe that's a side mission. Simple. Now you see Rocket and War Machine. I believe this is a part where they're at Thanos' farm where they're fighting him. I think they're in Thanos' farm.
We will. Whatever it takes.
Now, really quick. Ooh, what did I do? I thought I freed something. Now, really quick. As you can see, Scott Lang's right there. The part right here, this gets yellow. Like, you see how yellow it gets? I think that part is when an explosion happens, and you see Ant-Man jumping over a pencil and stuff like that. That's where I think that leads to. That's why I think it leads to. Now let me go back. Oh, okay. So this one has me speculating a lot, and I've actually mentioned this to a couple of my friends. This looks like the part where Thanos threw the Stormbreaker at Thanos. Thor threw the Stormbreaker at Thanos at his chest, and then that's before Thanos snapped his fingers. What I think is going to happen, I literally think they're going to go back in time and he's going to retry that and actually aim for the head. But even if he does go back and retry that, aim for the head type thing, you got to think about the people that died before the snap. How are you going to bring back Gamora? How are you going to bring back Loki? You can't just snap your fingers and say, come back, Or maybe you can. I don't officially know. It's one of those things where you really don't know what's going to happen. So I honestly just think he's there. That looks like the part like he's going back in time to redo it, It might not work. I don't know how many chances they're gonna get to go through this quantum realm stuff. It looks really crazy. A lot of you guys have better theories than I do. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Now, only person that I know Nebula would really be going crazy to attack like that is Thanos. They're in Thanos' planet, or they looks like Thanos' planet. You know, since he has, I got something in my nose that's making me itch. Since he has the reality stone, he can make that planet look just normal and make it seem like it's normal. It's a farm. But when he changes it with the reality stone, it goes back to looking like garbage, which could be this. Or they could have literally came to his planet and blew up everything. I don't know. We're going to know more from when the movie happens. Everything in the trailer could be misleading as hell, but we're going through it and making theories because we're Marvel fans and we love Marvel and we care about Marvel a lot.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Now that part, when him doing the shield, as you see, he's literally wearing the same thing that he wore in the scene where he's with Black Widow on the Guardians of the Galaxy ship, where she says, hope this works, and he's like, I know it will, because if it doesn't, I don't know what we're gonna do. That's the same suit, which has me leading that they are going to find Thanos. They're leading up. It's gonna be Rocket, War Machine, Captain America, Black Widow, Nebula, Tony. They're all going on the same ship. They're going to find Thanos. Nebula is going to tell them about the farm that Thanos mentioned that he was going to go to after he gets all these stones, which they are going to go in space and go to it. That's what I'm thinking. That's the same suit that he wore in the first one. In the first clip where he's like on the ship with Black Widow. And I don't know if everybody else could have been easily green screened it out so you don't see them. Or they could have been at least the first ones to get on the ship. But that's what I'm thinking. They're fighting Thanos. They have to be elite. They have to be fighting Thanos. This has got to be the first battle against Thanos. And this part right here, I believe this, like I said before, when you see that clip of Ant-Man looking like, he's just looking like that, when I said, you know, the whole building, I think Avengers headquarters is going to be exploded. I believe Thanos is going to Earth after the first attack, and he's going to attack the Avengers at the headquarters, which leads Ant-Man to fly over, erase pencils and stuff.
Whatever it takes.
And then we see that iconic scene, like I said before, where they're here, which is pretty cool. And you see everybody with their suits. There was an actual Instagram. They showed the trailer on Instagram, and it actually showed Captain America holding his actual shield, in the one right there, in this part right here, he was holding the shield. So it has me believing that he's got his shield back and everything. I thought this clip was cool. It seems they can either, there's a couple of things that could be going on here. They could either be going into space or into the quantum realm. My guess is they're going into the quantum realm, because if you see from shoot photos, they're wearing this type of thing on their arm, which looks like it's a device that they can push in and push out to put the suits back on, like some nanotech type thing, which is cool. But this is definitely I'm trying to figure out. So I'm trying to figure out who's that behind him. That might be Scott Lang. Hold up. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's Captain America. That's Tony, Nebula, Black Widow, Scott, and then Hawkeye. Hawkeye's all the way in the back. That's weird. So, yeah. So yep. So Hawkeye's in the back. Scott's behind Black. See, just the clips kind of like misleading sometimes. And then War Machine's right beside Hawkeye. So this part right here, they gotta be going into the quantum realm because honestly, without Scott Lang, they would not. If they are time traveling, which I'm gonna say 80% think they are, then they're gonna need Scott Lang because he's the only one that knows about quantum realm and how it works. And he's going to either time travel to the past or the future by accident, which is going to lead him to telling the Avengers how they can go back and fix this. Because when he gets out, he's going to realize everybody got snapped from the decimation. He's going to either go to Captain America or somebody that is part of the Avengers and ask him what happened. And they're going to tell him, we fought Thanos. He's going to be like, who's Thanos? And then it's going on so forth. That's what he's going to tell them. Look, we're going to find a way to do this, and I know a way to do it. Because I believe Scott Lang's ex-wife and his ex-wife's husband all got snapped from the decimation, but only person that survived was probably his daughter. And his daughter, from apparently there's a girl that's cast. I believe it's the girl from 13 Reasons Why. She's casted in a certain role for this movie, which could easily be the daughter of Scott Lang from the future, which if he goes into the future and sees his daughter, that it's gonna be kind of weird because she's gonna be like, "What the? How you look so young? Like, where have you been?" And then at the end of this, you see Thor and Captain Marvel. Now, I think this is right. I believe this scene takes place right after. If you watch the Captain Marvel end credit scene, he's like, "Where's Fury?" which leads to them all talking, and you hear the line from Black Widow when she says he wiped 50% of the population. That line was probably talking to Captain Marvel. So we're gonna look at the. We watched 2 trailers so far, haven't we? We watched 2 trailers. Now we're gonna look at the 2. Let me see. Is it 2 that we watched? Yeah. So we're gonna be watching the 2 TV spots. And that's gonna be it for the theories and breakdowns. So this TV spot is called Honor.
We lost. All of us.
Showing everybody that disappeared. Now this part right here, this is from Ameno, I believe. This is around the end. I think because everybody's like, oh, I had one guy, he was like, oh, they're just copied and paste. They're copied and paste. I was like, not necessarily. Every TV spot they've showed is always going to either show a new clip or something in the background that we haven't seen before. And they showed this new clip with Scott Lang and Hank Pym's daughter. I keep forgetting her name. But this could mean something in the future. Maybe there's got to be something. Maybe he brings her back, or there's got to be some type of situation that's going to involve her and him. Maybe in this movie, or how he's going to bring her and the family back. So maybe that's why they showed this clip.
We lost friends.
And they showed that clip.
Family.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Today we have a chance to take it all back. We will. Whatever it takes.
Now we honestly haven't really dissected this part right here. I believe this is the first. This is probably before Scott Lang. Well, no, I think Scott Lang's in this. This is probably the first time they actually go fight Thanos. As we mentioned, they go on Titan. Not Titan. I keep saying Titan, but they go on then Thanos' farm and they actually fight him. This could be the part because they're not going to be in their quantum realm suits fighting Thanos in that scene because you can see they're all wearing different stuff. this could easily be that scene. But I do think there's a gap because they're hiding Nebula and Tony. They're not wanting to show them, which could be understandable. You gotta like make your trailers look like nothing's really happening when really a lot's happening.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
And that's pretty much the trailer. We're going to go to the last one. Last but not least. Hope you guys have been enjoying this breakdown. I know it's not the best breakdown of 2019 of Marvel stuff, but we be sure as hell to make sure you guys are getting really into it. And leave your theories down below. What all the theories that you have, leave them down below, and I might do a separate video talking about you guys' theories and so forth. So we're gonna get into the next breakdown, which is The World Is in Our Hands. All right, here, hold up. All right, there we go. Click.
World is in our hands. We gotta do something with it.
What he means, world is in our hands, we gotta do something with it. He means that the world is counting on the Avengers. We have to find a way to bring people back. People that are still alive, that did survive the decimation, they're going to count on the Avengers to fix this, bring everybody back. And the outcome that might happen it might not be the best outcome for us fans. My nose is itchy as hell. It might not be the best outcome for those fans, but it might be something, you know. I don't think we're gonna go out this movie happy. I don't think we're gonna go out happy, nor we're gonna go out sad. But we're gonna be in the middle, like, wow, this decision really took a toll on me. They actually really did that. I don't think the movie's going to end well. I really don't. Because Infinity War didn't end well. I think there's going to be a big sacrifice which is going to lead into something happening and causing chaos. But a positive chaos for Phase 4 of Marvel movies.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I don't believe we mentioned that. We might have skipped through that throughout other trailers, but you can see that they're both suiting up. Somebody could be trying to attack the Avengers headquarters. There's too many clips to really explain if it's happening in the one that I said about him standing right there, or it's happening now. There could easily be an attack at the moment.
Whatever it takes.
Oh, she's training.
Whatever it takes.
So that's pretty much for it for the Avengers theories. There's more, Avengers trailers breakdown. There's more stuff to actually be said throughout, you know, a lot of the leaked stuff that's been going on. There's been a lot of stuff leaked on Reddit, so forth. We don't know 100% if everything's true, but we do know that this movie is going to be amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm apologizing. I'm super tired, but I wanted to do this breakdown for you guys because you guys are amazing and you guys are my biggest fans. But, and like I said, in all honesty, I do think the movie is going to be, it's not going to end on a positive note because something's going to happen, which will lead us to, like, being neutral, but, you know, confused, but happy at the same time because you're going to have everybody back. They could easily create a new timeline, which would probably be possible. They're going to create a new timeline, and this timeline, you know, might be really different. They might mess around and change stuff from past Avengers movies, which would be crazy to be honest, but this is my breakdown of all the trailers and all the TV spots and so forth. Let me know down below your theories and your opinions about this video. Sorry that it wasn't super exciting, more as it could. I know I'll probably get hate in the comments. from some people like, oh my gosh, you did this during the video, you scratched your nose during the video the whole time, you sniffled during the video. Like, some people are very nitpicky. The weather's bad down here in Florida, so I'm getting constantly colds, and for some reason my nose wants to itch throughout the whole video, which I do apologize, but I really, like I said, I really do hope you guys enjoy this video. We're on the road to 20K, so if you haven't hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. I'll post for Nation. I'll do this. One love, post. One love, peace. Post. See you guys later. I'm out. Like I said, one love, peace. Catch you guys later. Stay subscribed and stay blessed. I'm out. See ya.